Zeus Volt, my Crusaders! And, well, I'm gonna try this whole YouTube thing. I'm gonna take it serious. I tried to make videos in the past, and, well, it didn't work out, and I think I know why. I've been trying to make videos in other people's way, like doing gameplay videos or writing a script so I can talk about a topic, and if I'm being honest, that's just not me. If you're wondering who I am, I'm Crusader Tauros. And today, we are going to be talking about Destiny 2, which is mostly going to be most of my videos. To nobody's surprise. Well, once you get to know me, you wouldn't be surprised. But today, I want to talk about something very specific. See, Void 3.0 has gotten me super excited, and I've actually been playing around with a lot of different exotics, such as One-Eyed Mask and um, the Icefall Mantle Gauntlets, and I've been having a blast, and they have great synergy with Void already, and I can't wait to see what I can do with these once Void 3.0 comes out. But let me ask a question. Have you guys been trying the Void exotics? I know a lot of us have been playing this game for eons at this point. But let me be honest, there's a few weapons on this list, actually one specifically in which we're going to talk about, that I've slept on. And oh my god, it's really good. But I've also noticed playing around with these weapons that a lot of them fall flat, like really flat. And I kind of want to talk about every Void exotic and if they need to be buffed for Void 3.0. I'm actually going to go down in uh, a list. Now, the first weapon I want to talk about is the Fighting Lion. So the Fighting Lion is a Void grenade launcher. If you guys didn't know that, with the unique effect of it has infinite ammo. Now, it does have another unique effect where if you hit an enemy, you get a faster reload. Also, you get a you could get a higher swap speed while the grenade launcher's in mid-air, which might not sound good, but actually can lead up to some pretty funny 1-2 punches with a shotgun. Then, if you have a 1-2 punch shotgun, it's even funnier. Um, but it's a very unique weapon in the fact that it has infinite ammo, which is the first time we've really seen it. You know, it was one of the reasons why I kept playing Destiny after the awful launch of Destiny 2. And I was so excited to get it. And when its Catalyst came out, I grinded that. I think I completed it in like a few days, which is kind of, at that point in time, was very cool for me. You know, it was the first thing I wanted in D2, and that was actually a grind to get. And I would love to see this thing get some cool buffs later in the future. But I don't think it's a good idea. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. At least nothing to do with Void 3.0 because fucking god, have you checked that what like think about this for a second. Blinding grenades are considered to be one of the best grenade launcher perks, right? Now let's give a exotic grenade launcher with infinite ammo suppression. Well, there goes any use abilities. What about volatile? Now that might be a little bit balanced, except for the fact that hitting them with your grenade launcher and then finishing up with your kinetic is fairly easy. And yeah, so we don't want free volatile for everyone. We can, I guess that could work, but that just makes the 1-2 punch cleanup even easier. So, what are we supposed to do with this thing, you know? And the answer is leave it alone. I guess if you really, really want to like put a gun to my head and say, give it a buff, I'm gonna say, let's give it a void overshield when you get a kill with the weapon, specifically with the fine line, which does mean you'll probably see people use a SMG and then swap to the fine line and be like, hey, bam, get an overshield. I don't think it's a good idea. Either you're going to buff it to the point in where it's going to be broken, or there's going to be no point. So, yeah. Moving on, we have a weapon that might need some buffs, but I don't think it does. The Graviton Lance. Now, the Graviton Lance is a very interesting weapon because it's a pulse rifle that acts like a scout rifle, and its damage is worse than legendaries of both categories. So, yeah, that's not great. But it does have something really interesting. See, whenever you get a kill, they explode with void energy, and then an Axion dart comes out of the explosion and go hits another dude. So you get to hit a dude with a dude, essentially. And man, that is an interesting idea. Mostly due to the fact that Volatile is coming out next season. Well, not coming out. It's coming out of the closet. It's gay. Um, but it is a situation in where it's going to be a lot more prevalent in the game, and that would be like giving the aspect of I don't remember what it's called, but it's the one where if you freeze an enemy and you like kill the enemy or whatever, a little ice dart comes out and freezes another enemy. I feel like it's going to be a situation like that, where it's one volatile chain to another, and it's gonna be fun to see it. It's not gonna be fun to experience it. At least if we made this worse. I was thinking about giving this volatile on every shot, but that's dumb. We can. Oh, okay, I can see it. I can see it. Maybe add a unique type of weaken to it where every shot deals more damage up to a certain amount of shots. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. I kind of I would like to see the two lances become a bit more similar, and that's actually going to be a discussion on Polaris Lance rather than Graviton Lance. And I would like to see an Arc Lance at some point in time, but I guess that's what's supposed to be symmetry. God, I wish it was something called like symmetrical lance. But going back to Graviton, man, dude, it is hard for me to say, like, oh, we should buff this weapon because with its synergy with Void as it is, as I've been using it with Middle Tree Void Titan, it's just so good, and I don't think buffing it is the right choice right now. This, along with another weapon, needs to be seen what happens after Void 3.0. Now, moving on to another weapon that I don't really think needs much of a buff. Actually, it's a lie. Doesn't need any buff. Is Lorenz Driver. Lorenz Driver is overpowered. Yeah, joking. Sorry about hitting my mic. So Lorenz Driver is a little bit overpowered, and I think it's overpowered on only PvP, not PvE. It can be kind of lackluster from time to time, and with particle deacceleration, I think that's the only reason why people really love it. In PvE, the black holes can be really good, but if I'm being honest, once Void 3.0 comes out, with Weaken, Volatile, and Suppress, this thing's going to become a absolute monster on the PvE landscape, and I'm 100% for it, but please make it a little bit harder to cross map people so easily in PvP. Now, we're going to be moving on to some other weapons that I really don't see giving buffs to, such as the Truth. Let's see, the Truth is a really good PvP rocket launcher with very little PvE. Um, meant like usability, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't see a way that we can make this super good in PvE without changing its pure identity as a PvP specific rocket launcher. This is in the same situation that Mina Multi-Tool is. You grab this rocket launcher because it is the best feeling rocket launcher. And I do say that with the knowledge of Gallahorn exists, but the truth feels better. And if you can't handle the truth, then put on some rocket launcher swap mods. Oh my god, that joke was awful. Oh my god, but I gotta continue. Now, moving on to another weapon. Oh, actually, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for my weapons that have the do not buff category. Now, here's some weapons that I feel like. Oh, wait, I forgot one. Can't believe I forgot it. Telesto. Telesto's the besto. With its void explosions, you really don't need to buff it. Anything with void explosions, except for one weapon, really doesn't need a buff. Let's be honest. We're already going to be able to spread void explosions, so why not? Like, why buff the things that have void explosions already when we want more void explosions? And I feel like these are going to finally thrive. Now, moving on to weapons that actually do need buffs. I know I already talked about Graviton Lance, but it kind of doesn't need a buff. But I want to talk about the Wave Splitter. So, Wave Splitter is an exotic that depresses the shit out of me. See, it's a Void Trace Rifle, which are two weapons types I feel like are underused. Well, not Void specifically, but you know what I mean. I love Void, and I think Trace Rifles are underused. Now, we run into a problem here with the fact that it is inconsistent and a pile of garbage, and it's probably the only weapon that's getting a buff when the uh, Masterwork Orbs rework comes out. And if I'm being honest, if the intrinsic perks are even slightly good, it doesn't matter, bro. I would rather bring in a scout rifle. Now, with that being said, I could see this becoming really good if they made a slight change to it. Wellspring, but a fluctuating Wellspring. See, Wellspring gives you ability energy divided by whatever how many abilities you don't have. So if you used a grenade, used your melee, they will be divided between those two abilities. If you just have used your grenade, it will just all the points of recharge will go straight into your grenade. Now, with that being said, I was about to call it Wellspring, but Wave Splitter could have a unique form of Wellspring. Now, Wellspring wasn't an idea in Bungie yet, so well, it wasn't a perk in Destiny 2 when it came out. So creating adding Wellspring to it now might actually be beneficial. See, if it fluctuated where when it's at low damage and it got a kill, it gave you more than what Wellspring does currently, and when it's at high damage, it gives you a little bit less than what Wellspring does currently. I can see this being a very unique utility tool, especially with the elemental charges. No, elemental wells. I meant elemental wells. You could see a lot of mileage out of this using the mod that increases your damage from the picking up a elemental charge of the same type. I feel like that is phenomenal, and with the whole gimmick of Void being improved, this is a Void Trace Rifle, increasing its damage to make it more consistent, while also allowing you to get your abilities back. I don't know, that feels great. Uh, Sorry about the weird cut. My headset's acting a bit funky. I'm gonna have to check that out. But moving on, La Monarque. Sorry to my French, but La Monarque is a fairly interesting weapon, mostly due to the fact that it can one tap in PvP, and one tapping in PvP is quite powerful. And in PvE, I feel like it lags behind. Definitely could be using a catalyst, and I would like to see a rampage style catalyst where each bow landed on a target up to 3 times will increase the damage of the poison by maybe around 15% per arrow. So we could see a 45% damage increase after landing 3 arrows. This would make dealing with champions really fun and easy, especially when it's an overload or a barrier champion, which I think that's the other thing that bows can get. That will be fun. That will be interesting because popping a barrier bubble or disrupting them and then following up with two quick succession shots or two like full drawn perfect shots would be really interesting and really fun. Now, that's kind of all I have for it because that's kind of all it needs. I don't want to give it any other buff, especially like imagine it was suppression, gross. But I can't see it giving it any other buff, mostly due to the fact that It's a really powerful weapon as is, and a lot of people are probably going to want to kill me with the fact that I think it's the worst of the three elemental bows. It's a lot better than Leviathan's Breath, but still, it sucks. Now, Druidess Effigy, on the other hand, is a weapon that shouldn't suck, and I'm a little bit annoyed that it does. Mostly due to the fact it is a two-person weapon. Being 100% honest, you do need to have a friend to use this gun in its 100% most effective way. It is the haha funny ball gun, but it is also a fairly good gun, especially for DPS. And if your friend doesn't have a good weapon, it can actually give them a little bit more fun in D2, so it could definitely be a great tool. Now, we're going to be expanding upon its ability to become a tool by making it, well, by giving it, more accurately, Void Overshield. See, when the heavy attack on the ball is triggered, it should give you a Void Overshield as long as you hit a target. I think doing that will allow the player who had to get super up and close to survive, well, hopefully to survive any attack that gets tossed their way, and allowing the trace rifle users to be a little bit more aggressive. We could see some aggressive funny ball users in the future. Though, speaking of the future, let's talk about a futuristic gun, the tractor cannon. Gotta love this gun. And it's actually the perfect representation of Void as is. It is a very good utility weapon that can do quite a bit and help your teammates do absolute tons of damage, and which is kind of where Void is sitting right now, except for the outlier of Voidwalker, who just absolutely says, watch this damage. Tractor Cannon, I feel like Void wise can be left alone, but its whole gimmick of throwing people could be buffed. And actually, I got this idea from my friend Scout Creed. Thanks, Scout, for this idea. The closer you are to your target, the farther and faster you boop them. That is a very interesting idea and would be hysterical. I don't think it would really improve things too much, but it would increase the fun factor, and that's all we care about. Because that's what makes Destiny Destiny is fun guns, right? Speaking of fun guns, this one's not. I was about to call it the Tractor Cannon. The Colony. So the Colony is a heavy grenade launcher that fires bugs that crawl around, and honestly, I can't wait for the larvae launcher from the Witch Queen because, oh my god, I'd rather have that than this. The Colony's shots do chase targets, and you don't even need to see them for it to chase, but it's still kind of boring. It's still not the best, and it's still kind of lame. So, what can I, like, can we buff it? Well, I would like to see its shots create weaken, similar to how the Prospector shots burn at targets. And I would like to see its gimmick of slowly reloading the magazine when stowed buffed significantly and brought to the level of Deep Stone Crypt where it can double its magazine capacity. That would definitely bring it into a more of a usable state rather than just a PvP exotic that can be countered by hitting the jump key. Really depressing. Speaking of depressing, I actually want to talk about the saddest weapon on this list, Deathbringer. Oh, Deathbringer. What happened to you? You came out of the gate in Shadowkeep so interesting and unique, and then people forgot about you. And then you got a catalyst, and then everybody loved you. Then tragedy struck. The Galahorn returned. He took that crown from you and smacked you into the dirt because, well, Galahorn's better than Deathbringer. Does that mean Deathbringer can't be better than Galahorn? Well, yeah, it shouldn't. But it should. But we should keep an eye on it because with the ability to spread volatile, yeah, for a void player, especially a void hunter, Galahorn is probably not going to be your best bet. It's probably going to be Deathbringer. But speaking of not your best bet, Leviathan's Breath. Leviathan Breath is awful. It can do a lot of damage per shot, similar to the sleeper, but its fire rate is so god awful, and the amount of arrows you can carry just isn't enough. I would like to see a buff that increases the amount of arrows for this, and I would like to see Archer's Tempo actually do its damn job. If you have Archer's Tempo fully going on this bow, and you are trying, and you land every shot as a headshot, your last shot will be able to be fired like one shot early. Oh my god, amazing DPS bonuses. No cap, it's the worst gun in the game. So pray to RNGesus Jesus that this gets improved because that's pathetic. And I skipped over a weapon on my list because I really didn't want to leave this video with such a depressing thought of the Leviathan's breath. Let's talk about Black Talon, the best, hands down, best caster frame sword. It does more damage than any other caster frame sword. It's more efficient than any other caster frame sword. You can use it in mid-air. So, why do I think this thing needs a buff? Because it wasn't in that previous conversation of weapons I don't need a buff. It actually has to do with the catalyst. The catalyst is great. It's amazing. You block, and then you get to smack somebody's teeth in. But see, with the whole Void 3.0 and Void overshields being more prevalent, I would like to see that with the Black Talon. You getting a kill with the, I don't want to say with the catalyst effect active, I just want to say getting a kill will give you a small percentage of overshields, similar to that one aspect from stasis. Now, I don't think it's an aspect. I think it might be a perk. I don't use stasis. Um, I think giving it a small amount like those crystals gave you, which was depression with when I got stasis, but actually from a balancing standpoint, I love it. And I think giving it that same level of void overshields to Black Talon will make it a significantly more usable weapon. Not really better, but won't be as risky to go out, block, and then smack a boss because you have a lot less chance of dying if you have a high enough overshield. And I think that could push this weapon from forgettable, because I forgot about it, to really good. Like, really, really good. Though, that's all the void weapons. And, well, video's coming to an end. I've been your host, Crusader Toros, and I really would like to see what you guys have to say about this video, especially my style of not really going off a script. I know since I'm still beginning, it's going to be a little funky, and I have to get my audio settings right and fix my, well, get buy a new cord for my mic because I accidentally, something fell off my bed and broke it. So I apologize for the audio quality, but I am just getting started, and I really do believe that this is going to be the start of something good, and I hope that you stay along with this journey and we can come back and watch how awful this video is. But with that being said, bye and have a wonderful day. Okay, for whoever actually stays around for this bit, thank you. I want to do something a little bit special and talk about something personal. Um, I'm going to try to do these at most of my videos and talk about life, and this one's going to be about starting new things. And this is perfect because I'm starting something new and something I'm kind of scared of doing. Don't be scared to start something, like, especially if it's a new hobby or a new job or leaving a situation just isn't comfortable for you. It's good to actually take a step back or sometimes take that step forward. Just go out and do the thing because it's scary, and when you do it, you're not good at it. Take a deep breath. Continue. I'm saying this for y'all and also for me, so I can go back to this video and watch the end of it and go, yeah, I got this. I might suck, but I won't suck forever. Sometimes I'll swallow. With that being said, have a great day.